Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or it's 2 a.m. Go to bed already. This is Eagle Eyes on Tech. I am Eagle Falcon. So, I gotta say a few things first. So, a few things. First off, it's just me today. Second, not live, pre-recorded. Third, I am pre-recording this. It is currently 5:35 Central Time. On February the 16th is when I am recording this. I am saying this because normally when I do these things, I let some stuff kind of download in the background. I let some stuff kind of sit and relax. I don't on a daily basis try to keep on top of the tech news because I have a terrible habit of just letting things go in one ear and out the other. I mean, I could just keep track of other websites, podcasts, and whatnot while I'm on the road and try to retain it, but what's the point? I do a quick, usually 2 to 3 hour cram session and research session right before I do the show. This isn't the first time I'm revealing this. It's something I've done pretty much every episode. It's the best way I feel to do a show. To get the information fresh, make the discovery right before the show, therefore it's fresh in your mind so you can talk about it. I say this because, holy... wow! Everything happened! Everything happened! Everything freaking happened this week. And it's not even over. The week isn't even over, and I think I have too much to talk about. First, I want to talk about this little gem right here that I am currently blocking a little bit on the video version. And that is... I'll just read you the headline. Disney ends deal with YouTube star PewDiePie over anti-Semitic stunt. So, let's get a few things out of the way. I am no fan of Felix. I am no fan of PewDiePie. For the longest time, until I heard people actually pronounce it, I thought it was PewDiePie. And I had no idea what was so fascinating about some guy named PewDiePie. Then I watched some of his stuff and it's just like, oh god. That is absurdly obnoxious. And, you know, that's something that some people like. I'm not. I am a very chill caster. I'm a very chill person as a whole. Whenever I get loud and obnoxious is for a reason. It is not all the time. Now, that being said, I tend to just not pay attention to PewDiePie. I just don't. Because it doesn't interest me. Another well-known YouTuber named Matt Pat, though. I was watching some of his videos, and he was kind of casually talking about PewDiePie going downhill. And I thought it was more talking about how YouTube was changing their algorithm, because that's what the topic of the video was. Little did I know he was actually doing stupid stuff. And just for you guys, I went through and watched some of the videos to see what the heck are people talking about. How? What did he, like, make some Nazi jokes? And that's basically what it is. He crossed the line that you basically don't cross. And it was basically 4chan beatard level jokes. That's what it boils down to. It really is. I mean, I'd say something, but it's just... Even as a 4chaner myself, it's still in bad taste. And I'm not going to do it here on this podcast. Or ever. But you could probably predict what they were if you know your memes. Your terrible, distasteful memes. And Lord knows these were extremely distasteful. Extremely. And it just basically goes back to a little bit of a rant I had a while back, and I don't remember. No, I didn't actually publish it out as itself, but it did live on my Twitch archive. In the world we're in now, everything is being politicized. It's now even getting to the point where every single news outlet I see, I have to ask, is there a slant to this? Is there a reason that they're saying it this way? Is this actually true? It's actually gotten to the point where the news, the place I'm supposed to trust for giving me the factual information, I've had to go and fact check the news only to find out the news was wrong. Straight up. It's getting to be obnoxious. And in the entertainment world, the only, and I do mean one of the only places you can go to get away from anything being politicized is either sports or Let's Players. Twitch casters like myself, obviously in the same category as the Let's Players. Are us streamers, as we're called. It is literally one of the only places to go to escape politics. And even then, you might have some twit come in the chat and try to bring up, oh, what about that Trump? What about blah, 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 blah. And we shut it down because we specifically say, no. We're here to play games. We're not here to say Nazi jokes. We're not here to be offensive. We're not here to frickin' push the limits as to what is and isn't politically correct. We're here to just have fun. For once. We're here to entertain. That is the core of what's made YouTube stars. So it blows me away to see him be this stupid. And that's the only word there is to describe this. PewDiePie, your style is not my cup of tea. I guess if you really want to classify even the haters, I've never really hated you. You're just there. But what you're doing is stupid. Even dumber than this empty soda can. What more can you say? There's the rule of thumb for you. Just whatever you do, whether you decide to continue on with college, go on and try to get into a trade, become an engineer, become a mechanic, become a truck driver, become a YouTube celebrity. Try to do whatever you want. Just whatever you do, don't be stupid. Sage advice. Eagle to you. So now, let's move on to the other bit of what the heck happened. I first heard about this, actually, when I was going through Twitter. Verizon Wireless making an unlimited data plan. Here's the weird thing with Verizon's timing with these plans. And I know this is just a coincidence, But it's just weird to me. I was thinking to myself, man, my phone is broken. I'm going to need to replace it soon. Maybe I should switch to Sprint. And the first time I thought about switching to Sprint, Verizon changed their plans to non-contract plans, very similar to what Sprint has. And the prices were comparable. And I was like, oh, sweet. And I just stuck with Verizon. And I thought, well, I'm paying this much, and I could switch to Sprint and get an unlimited plan. It wouldn't be true unlimited. It would be throttled a bit, but, it'd be unlimited. Wouldn't have to stress about the data caps. And Lord knows, nowadays, I don't stress about the data caps at all. Ever since Verizon's change before this, where they got rid of the 6 gigabyte plan, replaced with an 8 gigabyte plan, and then added rollover data. I mean, God, I think I'm going to the convention this weekend with 12 gigs. 12 gigs? There's no way I'm using up 12 gigs. There's no way. I think I could, stream for 24/7. And I wouldn't go through, well, maybe I would. Regardless. I'm getting off track. Regret's not even here and I'm getting off track. Verizon is now introducing an $80 unlimited plan. Unlimited data, unlimited voice, unlimited text. And of course, this is here in the US. I should say that. Anytime I'm talking about cell phone data plans, because I live in the US, all my news sources are in the US, so it's going to be US based. If you're hearing me over in the UK or in Australia or even in Canada, it will most likely not apply to you. And you should consult your carriers as to what the best deal is and whatnot. I mean, even though I'm telling you in the US what's going on here with the phone data nonsense, still do your research. Won't hurt. So for $80, it's unlimited data, unlimited voice, and unlimited text. Now, for whatever reason, there's a lot of hatred towards the bigger wireless companies. Some justified, some not. But when I just searched for Verizon Unlimited Data so I'd get an article as to what the details were, the first one that came up was USA Today. Here are the catches in Verizon's unlimited data plan. Just right off the bat, just going, oh, God. There's all sorts of hooks. There's all sorts of demons hidden within this plan. They want you to think it's unlimited everything, but no, it's evil. It's like signing yourself off to the devil. First off, that's going to be the case with every single wireless guy. Let's not even kid ourselves. But let's go over this for a minute. First off is the theoretical issue of tethering. Or not tethering, throttling. Supposedly, if you exceed 22 gigabytes of data on a line, and this is on a single line, not spread across the other devices, it will lead to throttling, where you're going to be tiered down. So, my theoretical plan of trying to go Twitch streaming in the back of a semi-truck using a unlimited data phone to stream the data out, bad plan. Surprise! This should surprise no one. There is also a hotspot limit. Verizon's unlimited plan imposes a secondary limit on tethering. You get 10 gigabytes a month of tethering per line. After that, tethering drops you to 3G speeds, which is currently about 600 kps, which is, by modern standards, absolutely abysmal. So, I mean, okay, that's something to keep in mind. You can't unlimited hotspot it over. That's not too unreasonable. 10 gigs, though, for hotspot tethering, that ain't bad. And that's per line, too. So it's not like, let's say you have a family plan, mom, dad, and son, and daughter, whatever. If dad goes ahead and has to tether to his laptop for work in a hotel or whatever, and goes through 5 gigs, everyone else can still tether 10. That only applies to his line, which is nice. And then, of course, is the pricing confusion. Now, this isn't any surprise. There isn't... I mean, they call it pricing confusion. But it's not really. I mean, they're talking about here how it's confusing because they say $80 unlimited, but it doesn't include the line-in charge. And then also you have to pay a large amount additional for each phone you're adding. So it's $80 for one, $140 for two, $162 for three, $180 for four. That is a little confusing, actually. I was going to give him flack, but actually that does make sense. That is confusing as heck. So, that's where you stand right now. And that's where Verizon is right now. So, there's an unlimited data plan out there. We are finally stepping forward into a world where we're not putting an artificial limit on an unlimited resource. And don't tell me it's a limited resource, because it's not. There's a limited resource on the electricity it makes to maintain the network. But it's not like we're going into a gigabyte mine, having to mine out the gigabytes and ration them out. Our landlines handle this kind of usage no problem. It's 2017. It's about time we acknowledge that data is not a limited resource. And here's something that's interesting to me. Sprint and T-Mobile both have had unlimited plans. But the wheels of competition didn't get turning until Verizon finally caved in too. And I say this because literally just a little bit later on, Sprint announced its changes to its unlimited plan. And Sprint actually had some weird limitations to their unlimited plan that I didn't know about. And this is actually now where it's starting to go, huzzah, huzzah, we have unlimited data to... What? Now, I'm going to read the article and interject when needed. Sprint on Thursday announced that starting February 17th, its unlimited data plan will offer high-definition video streaming and 10 gigabytes of LTE mobile hotspot data a month for new subscribers. Let me interject. Are you kidding me? Sprint, you offered unlimited data and kept preaching we have unlimited data, and you weren't even offering high-definition video streaming? How is that even enforceable? What, were you telling the phones that, oh, I'm sorry, you're viewing on YouTube, down to 480 for you? What? Oh, and 10 gigabytes of mobile hotspot data a month. Yeah, super. Good. Just mirror Verizon, why don't you? I mean, okay, fine, but you couldn't one-up them? After all, the only limit is the bandwidth. Now, granted, admittedly, when I earlier said that, yeah, I mean, gigabytes are an unlimited resource, but the limitation is the bandwidth, how quickly you can push it through, and the whole reason there's data limits to try and make you use less, and blah, blah, blah. For the love of God, it's 2017. We can do better than this. The upgrades come just days after T-Mobile updated its One unlimited plan to include the same features, which itself came as a response to Verizon's re-entry into the limited plan market earlier in the week. And then, of course, after that, AT&T jumps in. Hooray! Everyone get in. I mean, this is both an amazing thing and a huge problem. But it is progress nonetheless. So AT&T jumps into the unlimited data plan. Alright, so here it is. The new plan will cover talks, text, and data on four lines for $180 a month. Ow. It's only $180 a month with a $40 credit for a 4 smartphone line. If you're using fewer, it's $220 a month. Now, here's my problem with this, because this is what Gizmodo's article is. The actual text says, and I tried to filter it out a little bit, trying to go through and actually find the data I wanted. The new plan will cover talk, text, and data on 4 lines for the wallet-busting price of $180 a month. Well, it's only $180 a month with a $40 credit for a 4 smartphone line. If you're using fewer, it's $220 a month. Based on AT&T's press release, it's unclear if there's an option for 1 or 2 lines. Well, Gizmodo, if you went ahead and actually read and did some research and actually tried, you would know there was. There is $100 option for AT&T's, but that's if you also have DirecTV, that it's unlimited. Which really just makes me ask, why, Gizmodo? Why do you try? Because you're clearly not trying. You clearly just dislike AT&T and clearly just went here. Thank God when I did a Google search for the other ones, Gizmodo was the first one up there, because I can only imagine how much they go, oh, Verizon did this, it's terrible. Oh, Sprint did this, it's terrible. Oh, AT&T did this. Oh, T-Mobile updated their stuff and it's amazing. Oh. Gizmodo has always tended to have a frickin' bias. And it is kind of comical that this, and admittedly, when I quickly did the show prep, I didn't realize that one of my sources was Gizmodo. I try to avoid it whenever possible, because they're not providing facts or providing an opinion piece, and I don't need someone else's opinion piece affecting my own opinion. But since it's here, I guess we'll just talk about it then. Which I just did. And then, of course, as mentioned earlier, T-Mobile updated theirs. So, you might be wondering, what does this all mean? Is there any sort of convenient place I can go look this up and do a comparison? Well, there is. There actually is, I'm not even kidding. DroidLifecom put out a very, very nice little chart. And it goes as such. Price. Verizon, single line, $80. Multi-line, $100 account fee plus $20 per additional line. Auto pay required. AT&T, multi-line, $100 for the first line plus $40 per additional line. The promo is that the fourth line is free. So first line 100, second line 140, third line 180, fourth line is free. Hey Gizmodo, remember earlier how you thinking it was a 220 for 3? Did you look? Because these guys here at Droid Life, they did this crazy thing called read and figured it out. I swear, if I was in charge of Gizmodo, I would fire every single person there. Anyone this disgustingly incompetent and still has a job does not deserve one. I am surprised I'm in charge of anything. T-Mobile, $70 for one line, $100 for two lines, and $160 for four lines, auto pay required. I would want to do a little bit more research, and unfortunately I had to rush through my research on this because I'm on a strict timetable trying to get this all settled up before I leave for a convention. 164 four lines, auto pay required. Sprint, multi-line promotion, $50 for one line, $40 for line 2. So that's $90 for two lines, $0 for line 3 and 4 multi-line in 12 months. Okay, so that means for a promotion, $90 for up to 4 lines. After that, $60 for line 1, $40 for line 2, so $100 for 2, and $30 per line 3 and 4. So $130 for line 3, $160 for line 4. So right off the bat, AT&T is the most expensive one. Not as expensive as Gizmodo said, because they couldn't read, you know, the one thing you should be good at in this crazy world called journalism. The one thing you need an English major for. The one thing I don't have, I might add. An English degree. And I can do Gizmodo's job better than Gizmodo! I'm sorry, am I getting a little aggressive about that? It's driving me nuts. Alright, here's the data use. Unlimited data with network management per line. Unlimited data with network management per line after 22 gigs. I am from here on out, they use the word network management. I'm going to use the word throttling, because that's basically what it is. It's the same thing. They could argue the difference. It's throttling. Okay? It could be you're at full speed. It could be you could be as low as 3G speeds. All right? Unlimited data with throttling after 22 gigs. AT&T, unlimited data with throttling after 22 gigs. T-Mobile, unlimited data with throttling after 28 gigs. Sprint, unlimited data with throttling after 23 gigs. Music streaming throttled to 1.5 megabytes. Gaming throttled to 8 megabytes per second. I mean, music streaming is throttled to 1.5 megabytes per second. Gaming throttled to 8 megabytes per second. Megabits. I said megabytes. I screwed that whole thing up. I just made fun of Gizmodo for not knowing how to read, and I just royally screwed that. I apologize. I apologize greatly. I expect better of myself. Gizmodo, you're still bad at what you do, though. So, let's try that again. Sprint. Unlimited data with throttling per line after 23 gigabytes. Music streaming throttled to 1.5 megabits per second. Gaming throttled to 8 megabits per second. Alright. Hotspot. Verizon. 10 gigabytes per line, 3G speeds after. AT&T, not included. T-Mobile, 10 gigabytes per line, 3G speeds after. Sprint, 10 gigabytes per line, 3G speeds after. Verizon, video quality. Streaming as the content provider sends, no throttling. AT&T, streaming as the content provider sends, customer can throttle with Stream Saver. T-Mobile, streaming as the content provider sends, customer needs to toggle off binge on. Sprint, up to 1080p. Canada and Mexico roaming. Verizon, unlimited calling and texting to and from, plus 500 megabytes 4G LTE data in either company, 2G speeds after. Oh, 2G? My phone has accidentally slipped into 2G trying to get a cell signal in a frickin' concrete basement of hospitals. Oh god, it's awful. AT&T, unlimited calling, texting, and data to and from, need to turn on free roam North America feature. That's the one area that AT&T is better on in this entire chart. They are terrible in every other area except for video quality. They're on par. It's just Sprint's the dark horse there. T-Mobile, unlimited calling, texting, and data to and from. Okay, T-Mobile matching AT&T there. Nice. The question is, I have no idea who's better as far as coverage there, Verizon, AT&T, or T-Mobile. Sprint, however, doesn't offer it at all. Not available. So, what do I think? After looking at all that, and after Droid Life did something extremely useful and actually laid it all out for all to see and all to contemplate and all to digest. It's actually not bad. There is one thing to keep in mind. T-Mobile, the prices listed for T-Mobile, those are all rolled in. The prices all include taxes and fees. Verizon, AT&T, and Sprint are not including that. And Verizon does, in fact, in their latest simplification process, did put out that the base price is $20. So that single line for unlimited, it's $100 base. Plus then your taxes and fees. AT&T and Sprint do the same thing. AT&T, though, unless they changed it on me and I didn't know about it, is still requiring a contract. Verizon, T-Mobile, and Sprint all do not. They've gone away from contracts. But in the end, despite all this, there's going to be no best or worst pick except for AT&T. It's all going to depend on the coverage in your area. Like, I know my mother who lives out in Brookfield in Wisconsin. The area she lives, the only cell provider that gets any service, I'm not even kidding, the only one is AT&T. That's it. Why phone? Why you do this to me? Oh my God. Why? Why are you not silent? This phone. Alright, there we go. It's now mute. Not have to worry about that. It's all going to depend on where you are, is my point. T-Mobile is clearly the cheapest at close to $30 less than Verizon. Sprint is just a mess as far as its pricing. Trying to lure you in with a promo 1-year price and then jacking it up by anywhere from $10 to $60 additional dollars. Actually, wait a minute. No, up to $70 additional dollars. It's just, ugh. I don't like that. And that's coming from a company that desperately needs to make itself stand out. It's very quickly becoming the also and. But regardless. I want to move on to something not really tech related, but something fascinating. Changes were announced today that about Blizzard's Hearthstone seasons. Hearthstone, if you don't know, it's a digital, basically Magic the Gathering game. You're playing with virtual cards, you're playing against each other, etc., etc., etc. And you're paying for virtual cards. You can keep playing to earn them. It's just a card game. You fight each other in it, like Yu-Gi-Oh!, like Magic the Gathering. And everyone thought it was just not going to go well. Like Blizzard's actual trading card game didn't go well. But Blizzard is really showing the advantage that it has by having the cards be virtual instead of physical. Now, one of the things it did last year was that it announced there would be a standard set that'd be considered tournament legal and a wild set, which would be everything. Just do whatever you want in wild. Crazy. Go mix fire and ice and have it work, or whatever. Just do whatever you want in wild. We're not going to care about wild. We don't worry about balance and wild. We're going to worry about standard and wild. Well, one of the things that's happening in the standard is that what it looked like, to me at least, what standard was going to be, it was going to be the two most recent sets, the two most recent adventure sets with that, and then the core classic set. Blizzard announced they are cutting a number of a number of cards from standard that are in the classic set, the core set, the one that everyone can get. They're cutting Azure Drake, Sylvanas Windrunner, Ragnaros the Firelord, Power Overwhelming, Ice Lance, and Conceal. I have just spoken gibberish to anyone who doesn't know anything about Hearthstone. Basically what it amounts to is that these 6 cards are all considered staple cards. If you are trying to build a top tier deck, it is guaranteed to have at least one Azure Drake, Sylvanas Windrunner, and Ragnaros the Firelord. If you're playing Warlock, you are most likely running 1 or 2 Power Overwhelmings. If you're going for OTK Mage, 1-turn kill mages, you're running 2 Ice Lances to sneak in an additional anywhere from 8 to 16 damage you can dish out with Ice Lances if you got Malagos out. And Conceal's just been a special breed of abusiveness lately. And then in addition with this latest update, it is going to eliminate the Blackrock Mountain cards. No surprise there. The Grand Tournament set. No surprise there. What is a surprise? League of Explorers is being pushed into the Wild set. Ow. The fact that League of Explorers, that adventure set, is being pushed out of standard as well. Ouch. Ow, ow, ow. But it's their game. That's how they're going to do it. Now, there's other changes that they're going to be adding to. And the rest of this article is just speculation, and also they're adding more deck slots and blah, blah, blah. I wanted to more talk about the fact that whereas they're pretty much copying, not trying to really make their own, but they are blatantly copying what Yu-Gi-Oh! And Magic the Gathering does when they introduce new sets. Magic the Gathering only includes the 2 most recent blocks, the 6 most recent sets, and every time a new set comes out in Yu-Gi-Oh!, they add to a massive banned list. I mean, okay, if you know Yu-Gi-Oh! At all, if you've ever watched the shows, almost every card they played in the original show is banned. Almost every single one. I'm only slightly exaggerating. Like, I don't think Dark Magician is banned yet. Somehow. And Blue Eyes White Dragon isn't either. But, like, every single spell and trap they play is banned. Or doesn't exist. But, in any case, I meant... You know, the funny thing is that when I did my prep earlier, I thought, like, I'm gonna struggle. I'm only gonna do a 30-minute episode, and it's just be something that will just air on Saturday. And there was just so much. I think, though, I am gonna finish with this. I take that back. No, I'm gonna get to some of the other stuff if I can, because some of it actually is pretty interesting, and that is Steam killing Greenlight. Greenlight was a project that whenever an indie developer brings out a game, the community has to vote on whether they greenlight it or not. If enough people greenlight it, it gets published into Steam. On one hand, it's a bit of curation. It makes sure that whatever gets on Steam is at least wanted. However, it was not very hard to get on the Steam. There are tons, underlying tons, of mediocre, low quality games that just shouldn't have seen the light of day. Including some that were just quickly made in RPG Maker and just shouldn't have been. Now, you might be thinking, but Eagle, this is great. Greenlight's been eliminated. Now that means that an actual good system will be put into its place, right? No. No, you foolish fool. Devs will be able to publish directly. Hooray! This means a massive flood of Flash games that should have just stayed on Newgrounds that somehow made it into EXE format. Why? I mean, please. There just should have been something. Anything. to just kind of say, you know what? But it up on here, that means it must be something. But then again, I suppose with the addition of other Steam competitors, Steam has to throw open the doors and let everyone in if they hope to remain the top dog. And as much as I don't like monopolies because they eliminate competition, I almost want to make an exception to this rule just because. Please, just no more launchers, no more. I don't want to have 1.5 million Steam clones on my machine. Please don't. Oh, please. But in any case, that is going to do it for me. I am going to stop here. Because the more I think about it, the more, as I'm like groaning on about Greenlight, I want to save the STX stuff for when I have regret with me. So that's going to do it for me. I hope you enjoyed this podcast, Just Me Edition. Take care, everyone. We'll see you next time.